Hey everyone, this is Stuart, Victor Echo 9, Charlie Foxtrot. Welcome back to the channel. On this channel, I cover cool things in ham radio that you guys should know about. And today I have my good friend Ante VA2BBW from Gatineau, Quebec, coming to talk to us about ham radio awards in Canada, especially through Radio Amateurs of Canada and basically Radio Amateurs of Canada, but what's available to hams in Canada and hams outside of Canada. Ante, welcome to the channel. First time on the channel. And tell us a little about yourself. How'd you get started in this wonderful hobby?
All right. Well, my ham radio journey, I guess, started when I was a kid, like a lot of us. So my dad is from the Netherlands, and when he came over here to Canada, um, I forget if he either brought with him or someone here gave him a little realistic DX360, a little shortwave receiver. I don't think he ever used it, but when I found it, I certainly started using it and was kind of fascinated by all the stuff you could hear on shortwave. In the early '90s, it's different than how it is today. You have a lot of religious stuff now, and back then there was still a lot of international broadcasters that would broadcast from every country. So I started listening to that, got really into it. I remember also at one point, I for my birthday, I got a little kit, a little AM radio kit with like a plastic or paper box, and you would very simple to make, but it came with a little book, and in that book they had a little chapter about ham radio and what it was, and that there were people like King Hussein of Jordan, Joe Walsh. All these people were ham radio operators, and that seemed really cool. So when I became a teenager, I got into CB radio with my buddies, and ham radio was still seemed far away. It looked like I needed a lot of money to get some gear, and you still had to do the Morse code back then. And then started to work, cars and other interests and music, guitar, and all that. Fast forward to my early 20s, I got back into interested in computers and Linux, and that's how I kind of got back into ham radio. Um, I forget exactly how, but all the Linux open source stuff stumbled across some amateur radio stuff and thought, okay, well, I'm working, I'm a grown up, I've got money, let's get back into this. And so in 2008, I did my test, passed the exam, and got on the air as VA2BBW.
And a lot of us have had that same journey. Your break was a lot shorter than mine. Mine was like 30 years. But it's funny. I tell a lot of people you have a similar story to many of us. Girls, cars, and music usually are the three interrupters to ham radio, I call it.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I mean, I don't live too far from the old Radio Canada International Broadcasting site, so it's kind of sad to drive by going into Nova Scotia and knowing what was there. And I had a chance to see it when I was a youngster, but now that I live here, I don't. It's gone. It's all gone now. Anyway, let's get into the topic at hand today. Radio Amateurs of Canada awards programs.
Mm.
Now, you are the awards manager with Radio Amateurs of Canada. Tell us about that role and what you do in that role.
So and this is how I started volunteering with RAC, was through the becoming the awards manager. So the previous manager, Victor Echo 1JS, oh geez, I'm running a blank. Scott, I think his name. You may have to correct me on that, but he was the previous awards manager, and he had been the awards manager for I think around 10 years or so, and was looking to move on to other things and diminish his workload a bit. So I was actually looking for some awards to apply for through RAC, which I still haven't done. So I stumbled upon the webpage that was showing that, here are the awards. By the way, we're looking for a new awards manager. So I got in touch with Dave Goodwin, who seems to have his fingers in all sorts of parts of RAC there. He's a pretty important part of Radio Amateurs of Canada. So I got in touch with him and told him, you know what, I think this would be a fun thing for me to do, be involved with RAC as well, getting back into the hobby. So That was around 2023, I think, is when I started the position. So basically, my main role regarding the awards is administrating the awards program, receiving the applications, going through the applications, making sure the what people send me follows the rules, that they have all the proper information and confirmations for the awards that they're applying for. Also, one of my roles is to, I guess, modernize the awards a little bit. I've come up with some new interesting awards, which we've done. And another part that's not, completely related to it, but it's in the same vein. I also look after the Rack Challenge, as you know. So that is also part of what I do. It's not strictly award related, but Dave Goodwin, again, he started that program in 2021 and was looking to pass on the torch. So it fits well within that role. So I've been doing that as well. Like I said, since either 2022 or 2023, I'd have to check, but it's been a couple of years now.
And we'll come back on the Rack Challenge because I do want to spend a bit more time talking about that. And you're right, Dave's got his tentacles in many things.
Yeah.
He's massaging the yeast everywhere, I call it.
Yeah, yeah, and he's been doing that since the 70s, I think.
He's very very active in the community for sure. And I've interviewed him a couple of times on this channel. On one of them, which is not yet released, the Defensive Amateur Radio Fund, which is a very very important aspect of Rack's work. Mm-hmm. But so before we get into the portable operations challenge, let's talk about just the general awards that any ham anywhere in the world can apply for. I think there's probably a half a dozen or so.
So right now the Rack Awards that are open to amateurs worldwide, we have the Canada Award, which you can kind of think of it as the Canada Work to All States equivalent, right? And it sounds easy because we have 13 provinces / territories, but those three northern ones, the three territories, are the operators there are few and far between, and VY0 is always a tricky one to get. So it's a lot more challenging than people would think. So the Canada Award, we have the Worked All Rack Award as well. So those two have been around for a long time. The Canada Award actually was originally a CARF award that was started by Peter VE7AB, and that was started in 1977, I believe. So it's been around for a long time. Pretty much unchanged. We made a couple of little tweaks, but it remains pretty true to the original. Worked All Rack Award, that was around 1993-95 when CARF and CARL merged. So basically that award is for working at least 10 rack suffix stations. So we have a whole bunch of VE9 rack, VE3 rack, V4 rack. So all those rack suffix stations, if you work at least 10 of them and show proof, then you can apply for the Worked All Rack Award. The two others that we have that are more recent, we have the Canadian Century Club, and that is for showing proof of contact with 100 different Canadian stations. It's a little more nuanced. There are certain rules and maximum number per province, but essentially for working 100 Canadian stations. And then we've also started the Worked All North America Award. So inspired a bit by the Worked All Europe Award, Worked All Oceania Award, and there was no Worked All North America Award. And it so happens that there are exactly 50 DXCC entities on the DXCC list that count as North America. So that's a nice round number. So we started that and the Canadian Century Club about a year and a half ago. The Canadian Century Club was basically a replacement of the old Trans-Canada Award. So the Trans-Canada Award, I forget exactly all the details, but it was for working, I think it was 5 amateurs in each of the provinces, certain number from, VY0, VY1, V8, and VY0, but you had to also work a VY0 from some of the offshore islands. So um, it was a little different, and we hadn't received any applications for that award in a few years. So I decided to kind of keep the spirit of it, but change it a bit. There are other Century Club awards where you work 100 of certain stations or things like that. So that's how that came about. So right now, those are the four main rack awards that are available to all amateurs around the world.
When you say proof of QSO, what are you looking for there? QSL cards or LOTW confirmations? How do you measure proof?
Okay, so it used to be QSL cards before. Before I started, a couple of years before I started, they started to accept Logbook of the World confirmations, and now we have it so that we also allow QRZ.com confirmations and EQSL from the EQSL Trusted or Gold. I forget the exact term, but the verified EQSL users. And the way that we do it, so obviously it's not like with the ARL. So when you apply for DXCC, ARL has all the information in their database. They can verify it themselves. We don't have access to, the Logbook of the World database or EQSL. So the way we've done it, and the way a lot of different organizations around the world do it, they'll have you fill out, the application sheet, and then you have to show two other amateurs your confirmation. So either your Logbook of the World screenshots or your cards, and you have them sign it. So it's basically a way for, because if you send your cards to me, or if it send all your scans and things like that, emails get big. It's a lot of work to look through them. So a lot of organizations, what they do is they say, send us a verified list of QSOs that you've made. Have two other amateurs not related to you sign it, and that will be proof that that is actually what you have. So that's the way we do it. The other reason I decided to have it done that way is that it lets other people know about the award. So somebody applies for it, they go see their buddies, hey, can you sign this application? Oh, what's this? Okay, cool award, maybe I'll do that as well. So and if I have any doubt, or if I have any things I need more clarification on, I'll contact the amateur directly and say, hey, can you send me this screenshot or this scan or whatever? And so that's basically how we do it. So QSL card, EQSL, QRZ.com, Logbook of the World, but it's not sent directly to me. You fill out the form, show these to two other people that sign it, and then the application is sent.
So it's kind of like your golf score, right? When the attested
Yeah.
player, right? So, you claim you got a 5 under, you have two of your buddies sign off on it, and then you can submit it to the club for to go into the database. So it works the same
Yeah.
way as golf. I was thinking the whole time you're saying it, this guy's got to be a golfer to do it that way, So those are great. So I mean, I probably got over. I know I've got over 100 QSOs with Canada, and I got all the 3 Northern Territories. Because VY0, there's ERW is very active.
Yeah,
There's a couple of
yeah,
no,
ERC, EML, and it's funny because a lot of times I'll be when one of those guys is active, within a couple of weeks, I'll get usually a few applications for a Canada Award or something like that, and you look at all the dates for the QSLs, and you look at VY0, and you're like, oh, okay, this was in the last few weeks, so.
Yeah, and I know there's a couple of VE8s that are very active too. I worked the VE8, a mobile VE8, quite a bit in the last month or two.
Okay.
He always seems to call me when I'm out doing portable. And VE8 GR up in Iqaluit. Is it Iqaluit? No, what's up? Anyway, northern. I think that's not Iqaluit. Anyway,
No, yeah. So
it's
there's
it's up that
V8,
way.
yeah, V8 DAV as well. I've seen
That's
recently
him.
a lot.
DAV.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes.
And then obviously I get all my VY1s during the contest. So There you go. And working all the RAC stations, that's easy during the Canada Day or the Winter Contest. So
Yeah,
so
well,
you're
it is as long as we have people. We usually have for the big contests. We usually have people operating the stations, and I'd like to tell people that if you're a rack member and you would like to operate as a rack station, all you need to do is contact your director for whatever region you're in. And you know, you can say, hey, there's. It doesn't have to be a Canada Day or a rack winter contest. It can be any event. It could be any operating thing you want to do, and if you know, it's up to the director to check if the call sign is in use that day, and if not, they can approve your request. So I recently operated as VA2 rack for the Quebec QSO party from my home. So if that is something that rack members can do, and it would be cool to have rack stations on the air during events other than the rack contests. So
Yeah,
that is something.
I did VE9 rack during World Amateur Radio Day, and
Yeah,
I did it portable, which was like even a lot more fun.
yeah,
So okay, so moving on to the portable operations challenge. So that's the big one, and it's nice to see the number of amateurs getting involved growing a bit slowly. It's still growing. Tell us about the portable operations challenge. I mean, I know all about it because I've been doing it for a number of
mhm.
years, and I like to think I'm a kind of a vocal contributor to the program. But tell us a bit about it, and how can people get involved with it?
Okay. So the Rack Portable Operations Challenge that was started in 2021 again by Dave Goodwin. As a way to encourage people to go out and do portable operations within Canada. So this is it's not an awards program. It's not a contest. It's just I like to call it. It's like a fun little competition, right? A friendly competition amongst Canadians.
The gamification of ham radio.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Which is a little bit what awards do, not quite the same way, but we can touch on that a little bit if you want. But yeah, so this is so every month people can go out and whenever they operate portable from anywhere within Canada, doesn't have to be a Parks on the Air, doesn't have to be WWFF. It can be operating portable from any place you want. It can be operating portable from, you know, street corner somewhere in the city even, and you can claim that. So you submit your portable operations. There's a form online. You know, you put the date, you put the park number if there's one. Lighthouse can count as well as a multiplier. Basically, you submit your portable operation, and at the end of the month, the scores are tallied, and the top five for each month get a nice little certificate, and at the end of the year, the top 10 get a certificate, and it's, you know, like I said, it's a friendly competition, and the way that you score points, people can check out the rules. Everything is on the website, rack.ca/rack hyphen challenge, and all the rules are there. So you get points for every contact you make. Contacts on certain bands give you more points than others. You get bonus points for QRP contacts, and you get multipliers. So we've added different programs to the Rack Challenge as multipliers. As you know, Parks on the Air, which is super popular. If you operate from a POTA park, that gives you a multiplier. Same thing with WWFF, Lighthouses on the Air. Summits on the Air as
IOTA
well.
summits, yep.
Yeah,
All of them,
yeah,
yep.
exactly. So all those will give you multipliers, you know, similar to how you get multipliers in contests for different things. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. You submit your applications. You have to submit it within 7 days of your operation. The reason we did that is that we would sometimes get, you know, people who would submit all their activations at the end of the month, which means that, you know, somebody can think, oh, I'm doing good this month, I'm in first place or second place, and then at the end of the month someone just submits all of their activations and goes from having no points to just finishing first. So this way it just lets you keep a better view of what's going on during the month. So, people can see, okay, he's submitted an application, he's here. So if I want to win, kind of where you stand. So that's why we did that. And it's been growing. Again, we have our diehards, our people that submit, that have been submitting since the start of the program. And we have new people that join. And I also, so every TCA, I have a column where I give the scores and talk about what's been going on, and I also share people's stories. And so for these activations, people can submit stories that can be nothing more than one line saying, "Hey, I was here today and I made 100 contacts," and it can be as elaborate as, I know you've submitted some stories and from operating from historic sites, and you give an idea of why it's a historic site, what you were doing that day, a couple of paragraphs. So and pictures as well. We use some of the pictures for on the front page of the TCA or in the article. So that's one thing I really enjoy is receiving those pictures, receiving those little stories from people, and sharing them. I think it lets other people. You can kind of live vicariously through what these guys are doing and reading about their activations, and hopefully it helps give some people the spark they need to do their own portable activations.
And I can appreciate what you have to go through as the person writing the article, because if nobody gave you any feedback, you'd be going, okay, what am I going to write about? Okay,
Yeah,
Ernest did this, Stuart did this, Rich did this, and we had a couple of newcomers, and you go, okay, that's a paragraph, right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. And I,
so
it's
it's nice to include all that stuff.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I love doing the column, and I always try to put a little, a little bit of humor, a little bit of a twist in there. I've I've been using a lot of sports metaphors as well, and it's, to me, you can compare it. I try to do, like, not necessarily like a play-by-play thing, but I like to put a little bit of that and create some, um, not hype. Hype is not the word, but create some excitement about it.
Yeah, some buzz, basically.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
I mean, as I said, I know there's more and more people getting involved from very casual. I gone out and done my 50 contacts this month to guys like me, Rich, and Ernest, who neck and neck every month. Where
yeah, yeah, yeah.
for in 2024, it was Rich and I just battling into the end, and then last year I said to Ernest early last year, yeah, I'm kind of burnt out from it. I'm going to take a break, and maybe I'll do it this year. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just do very casual. And then about June, I said, yeah, I got to do something. I'm getting kind of itchy. And I had that 3 million point month, and that was a bit that was a very very busy month.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's the thing about it. You can just have as much you can have as much fun as you want with it, and it's not really I always say the pressure you put on yourself is self-induced.
Yeah, yeah. And you can make it as competitive as you want. Like some of the guys who are very active and who are like this program, right? You mentioned you, Rich, Ernest. There's a bunch of other guys as well who are always, usually within the top five or very close to that. And again, some people are really gung ho, and they will go out and they will plan these operations. Okay, I'm going to hit this park, that park this month. And other people, I'll get a report every couple of months, and or they'll be active during the summer months, right? You see that trend for sure, where it slows down a bit during the winter. Some people still go out, and again, hats off to them. I did. I don't do that many portable operations myself now. Back in 2010, 2011, before POTA and all that stuff, I used to enjoy. So I'm part of this group called the Polar Bear QRP group. Again, I'm not super involved right now, but in 2010, 2011, so every full moon. So this was the idea of the group, the Polar Bear Moonlight Madness event. So every full moon, pardon me, we'd go out and operate QRP portable from wherever we wanted, right? And this was a winter thing. So I know how difficult a winter portable operation can be. all across the country. I know some spots are not as cold as others, but even just +5, sitting on a park bench somewhere or a picnic table or a chair, sitting outside in the cold, even on a sunny day, you're not moving. You get cold, and also I got a sunburn on my nose in winter, right? So when you're sitting in the sun, you can still get cold, but you can also get a sunburn. So winter operations have their challenges for sure. So those challenge rack challenge operators who go out in the winter, hats off to them for sure.
Yeah, that was me a couple years ago. This past winter, not so much. I like the comforts of my home shack here.
Yeah.
So we're running out of time, Anthony. So I'll kind of wrap up. Anybody can get involved with the Rack Portable Challenge if they're a member of RAC. Yeah, first off, you have to be a member,
Yeah,
and secondly, the operation has to be done inside of Canada. Those are the basic two rules, right?
that's correct. Yeah.
And one QSO per band counts. Not the POTA QSOs I call it, where you can work one guy in 5 parks and get 5 different QSOs. One QSO per band. So
Yeah, and there's a minimum of one QSO. So we're
yeah.
not, we just want people to go out. We know sometimes you can get skunked. So again, we're not doing this to push people to the limit. It's just, get out, make your contacts or your contact, and just go out and have fun.
Rack.ca/rack-challenge to get involved with that one for more information. Anything else about the Rack Awards that we should know about?
Yes. So the Work Tall Continents Award. So the IARU has had it's one of the oldest awards available out there, the Work Tall Continents Award. As of last year, so I was working on this for a little while. I got in touch with Tim Elam, who's the president of the IARU, and I saw other national organizations kind of look after the Work Tall Continents Award on behalf of the IARU. And so I got in touch with them, and as of last year, we got permission to issue the Work Tall Continents Awards to Canadian RAC members. And we designed our own nice certificate that they approved. So bilingual certificate. So the Work Tall Continents Award for the IARU, RAC members in Canada can apply for it through RAC, and we have our own nice bilingual certificate to do that. So
awesome. I just got Worked All Continents on WWF, so I have all continents. Ante, thanks for doing this, my friend. I really appreciate it, and thanks for being there, being the administrator of all these great programs. You're gonna get a flurry of award applications from me in the next few days. I can guarantee you that.
awesome.
If they have any questions, they can reach you at awards@rack.ca, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. Ante, thanks again for doing this, my friend. I appreciate all you do for this great hobby of ours. And if you ever need any help, feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to lend a hand.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
And we'll have to have you back on again to talk about your Rack social media role, because that's another role you've taken up. 7-3, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us today. And awards@rack.ca if you want to learn more about these great programs. Ante, thanks again, my friend.
No problem. My pleasure. Anytime.